2022, what can I say about it? So much amazingness happened this year for .NET developers, and I want to give us all a full recap of all the amazing things that you may have missed out on because there was constant releases nonstop of awesome things with .NET, Visual Studio, NuGet packages, community libraries, and so much more. So tune in. Hey everyone, I'm James, and today I want to recap 2022 for .NET developers. I haven't done this type of video before, but I was watching the Vox 2022 recap in 7 minutes, and I was like, this is something cool that we should do for .NET developers. I think, as a .NET developer, it's always the best time to become a .NET developer or to be a .NET developer because so much awesomeness is happening in the .NET community. Not only in the languages and frameworks and the runtime, but also the amazing ecosystem around .NET, whether it's coming from the .NET team, from the community, from awesome community projects, from collaborations between Microsoft and the community or other companies and control vendors. There's amazingness happening all around us, and it's really cool just to see how many little things and amazing big things people can build with .NET, no matter who you are, where you're at in the world, because it's free and it's open source for every single person out there. All right, let's kick it off with February 2022. .NET itself celebrated its 20th anniversary. That's right, 20 years of .NET since its very first release. I started with .NET 2.0, my very first job at Canon, which is funny because I'm recording this on Canon camera, even though I worked on printer software. And I went through all of the stages of upgrading different .NET framework versions, moving to .NET Core, and now .NET 5, 6, and now 7. Because at the same time as we were celebrating the 20th anniversary of .NET and having an awesome live stream, which I'll put a link to down over there, up over there on the .NET YouTube, .NET 7 Preview 1 dropped. It was just 3 months since .NET 6 had launched in November of 2021, and here we are with .NET 7 Preview 1 dropping. Now, all throughout the entirety of the year, basically there was awesome blog posts and feature releases in .NET 7, and I'll link to my other video talking about .NET 7 when we get there as well, of all my favorite features, but there's so much cool stuff going in. So I'm not going to go into every single feature that sort of dropped throughout the year, but we'll talk about some major announcements through the way. Now, also in February, another awesome thing dropped, which was Visual Studio 2022 17.1 launched. Now, this is obviously the sort of next iteration of 17.0, which was Visual Studio 2022 that launched just previously in 2021. But basically, to a T, every 3 months or so, brand new versions of Visual Studio 2022 launched. And at the same time that this was happening on Windows, Visual Studio 2022 for Mac was finally launching as well, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. Now, in this release, we had find in files, tons of Git updates, and even one of my favorite features that I just now started using, which is solution filters. So many cool things in there, and of course, tons of other productivity things as well. Now, as we move on to March, not only did .NET get to celebrate its 20th anniversary, but Visual Studio itself got to celebrate its 25th anniversary. Full live stream as well over on the Visual Studio YouTube, and awesome things happening in and around there. Now, at the same time of this, awesome things were happening. I'm going to keep saying awesome, so I need to calm down there, but so many cool things were happening with GitHub, specifically with Copilot. Now, while Copilot had started in 2021 and come to VS Code, Copilot came to Visual Studio 2022 all up, and I actually have it enabled and running all the time, and I simply am just mind boggled. Frank and I talked about it recently on Merge Conflict, and I was like, wow, this is so cool. So that came out in March too. Now, moving on to April, as we start moving on, now, of course, there was preview releases of .NET 7 almost every single month, and updates to .NET 6 and 5 and all these other ones every single month too. So I'm not going to get into each and single one of those unless it's a major thing. But in April, Core WCF 1.0 launch. This is really cool because it's a collaboration between Microsoft, other companies, and the community that essentially enables anyone that was using WCF on .NET Framework to bring over their WCF services into .NET Core, now .NET 5 or .NET 6 or now .NET 7, which is really amazing to see. So that's really cool seeing that come in April. Now, May is always an exciting time for .NET developers and developers all off because it's build time. That's right. Microsoft Build 2022 went down with tons of amazing features for Azure and .NET and Visual Studio and GitHub and all these other things. And specifically, Visual Studio 2022 17.2 launched. This brought source link improvements, C# 11 initial support, innumerable visualizations, which I love, Razor editor updates, web live preview for ASP.NET applications, Azure deployment updates, and even more Git amazingness. So definitely check that out. And at the same time, Visual Studio 2022 for Mac launched. That's right, it did come a little bit later after Visual Studio on Windows, but this was, for all intents and purposes, a rewrite from the ground up on all native technology and running on top of .NET itself. So running on top of .NET 6. So really, really cool to see that come along. And all through the year, we saw these updates sort of simultaneously ship at the same time on Windows and Mac. So that was really, really nice to see. Now, May, honestly, for me, was one of my favorite months because .NET Maui and WinUI 3 launched. That's right, .NET Maui, the multi-platform app UI, the evolution of Xamarin Forms, the things that I talk about all the time on this channel. And many of you, in fact, over 300,000 of you have now gone through my 4+ hour workshop right here on my YouTube. Thank you all so much. And it's really fun to see what people are building with .NET Maui. And that was the very first release. And there were Learn modules on the Docs website, brand new documentation, samples were all released, videos. There's so much amazing, really cool things happening around the .NET Maui launch. And that also included that WinUI 3 support for Windows applications. So now we have that unified base. And while .NET Maui was the highlight there of that launch in May, it also was the same time that iOS, Android, and Mac for .NET were updated and released for .NET 6. And those are the evolution of Xamarin iOS, Xamarin Android, and Xamarin Mac. I have a bunch of videos here, of course, that I'll talk about, and you'll see up over here or down over there about those really cool things. All right, now moving through the summer, I'm going to kind of pass by one of my favorite months, June, because of my birthday, and July. But in August, we had Visual Studio 2022 17.3 ship. Now, the preview shipped in May and added initial support for .NET Maui, but this was that sim ship between Mac and PC, and the versions were aligned at 17.3, which is really nice. This gave the initial .NET Maui support, Teams app development, which I've given talks on, which has been really fun, Azure Container App updates for deployment, live unit testing improvements. What's new, which is honestly one of my favorite features, Git line staging, which I use and is really neat, and tabs in multiple rows, which I absolutely hate, but some of you may love. You know, if that's your style, go for it. You know, and of course, there's tons of other improvements in there too. Now, August, like May, was another banger of a month. .NET Conf Focus on .NET Maui dropped, which was a full day learning experience for .NET Maui applications. That was really fun to see. And during that, there were tons of great community sessions from the team, sort of deep diving in on .NET Maui. One of my favorite sessions from that was actually on the .NET Community Toolkit, which is the evolution of like the Windows Community Toolkit, which now there's a Windows Community Toolkit, a .NET Maui Community Toolkit, and a .NET Community Toolkit, which all updated and released around this time, specifically the .NET Community Toolkit 8.0, which had MVVM support, diagnostics, performance, and more. I've done update videos and different videos here on this channel, which I'll put all over the place is what I'm saying. There's tons of videos, so much cool stuff. Now, I also think what's really neat about .NET, obviously, is that it sort of evolved into this, really great runtime and framework for running apps anywhere, obviously, but running apps on Linux and in containers and specifically on ARM. And in August, .NET Framework, that's right, Framework 4.8.1 launched. This included ARM 64 support for the .NET Framework, which is going to lead here into something that we're going to get about with Visual Studio and some really cool new hardware that we saw. So that was a huge update. It was really, I didn't think I'd ever see that, but we did it. That's so cool that the team put all that time in and got it all up and running on ARM 64. So really neat. Also, .NET 6 at that time was then now included with Ubuntu itself. This is a really neat addition into Ubuntu where you can do sudo apt install .NET 6 and that will install. So it's like in the box, which is really, really nice. And that's a really nice partnership between Microsoft and Canonical. And in fact, there's a video that was released in November talking about not only the Ubuntu for .NET included, but also the Chisel container. So I'll put a link to that. All the places is what I'm saying. All right, on to September. Yet another way to get .NET, because if you're not going to the .NET website, you're not inside Linux, maybe you're on Windows, you want to get .NET installed really easily, you can now get it in the Windows Package Manager, WinGet. You just get it right there. Super cool. All right, we're on to October. This is really neat because I had the privilege of testing some of this different hardware that was released for developers, specifically the Windows Dev Kit, aka Project Volterra. Now, Project Volterra is a really neat ARM64 machine. I have one sitting right here on my desk, and I use it almost every single day at work, and it is super cool. I just love it. It's lightweight. It's super quiet. It's really neat. It's a really neat machine. And if you heard Matt Sokup on the .NET Maui podcast, he used it as his main machine as well. So that launched in October. Another thing in October, talking about libraries, was MSAL.NET launched for .NET Maui. So upgraded there, brought in .NET Maui support and .NET 6 support. So that was really cool to see too. We're moving along, people, and we're into the big one, if you will, the culmination of everything happening all through 2022. It's going to be the same for 2023, which is November. November is like the time, right? It's like .NET developer, just everything is happening, right? Because .NET new versions launch, and .NET 7 launched at .NET Conf just a month ago, month and a half ago or so, which launched so many amazing updates for every single product. Not like tons of performance updates, new updates for ASP.NET Core, for Entity Framework, for .NET Maui, for Windows, for all of these things. And it's just so cool to see .NET continue to evolve and go. And of course, I'll put a link to my video, which talks about my top 7 features of .NET 7 over there too. Now, there are a bunch of other things that happen, not only with .NET 7 and .NET Conf, and 3+ days, 4 days actually. There was a student zone day 1, and then 3 days of .NET Conf video footage. You can just binge for days on this content on YouTube. But there's other product updates too, including ML.NET 2.0. So if you're doing machine learning with .NET, 2.0 came out. And additionally, if you're doing machine learning or you're doing data science, .NET Interactive transformed or morphed into the Polyglot notebooks for Visual Studio Code. And what Polyglot notebooks are, they're sort of like Jupyter notebooks. They can run .NET, they can run HTML, they can run all sorts of different languages now, and you can mix and match cells of different languages together. So if you needed to run a little .NET here, a little Python here, you can now do that in Polyglot notebooks, which is really neat. Also, with .NET 7 came, of course, a new version of Visual Studio 2022, like clockwork, 17.4. It just keeps getting better and better, which included final .NET Maui support, final tooling, all sorts of good stuff in there. It also obviously included .NET 7 support, but more importantly, if we roll back to what just happened earlier in the year with .NET Framework adding ARM64 support, with the Project Volterra Windows Dev Kit launching ARM64 hardware, and Visual Studio 2022 now having official ARM64 support out of the box, which is really, really nice to see. So that kind of brings it all together as an amazing way for developers to get started with it. Now, I also like all the other really cool things that are happening in the .NET ecosystem, right? We talked about the Ubuntu stuff. We talked about the Chisel containers. We talked in my previous video about the built-in Docker or containerization support in the .NET SDK, which is neat. C#11, F#7, just so many awesome things happening inside of .NET, Visual Studio, and just the entire ecosystem. And that kind of brings us to December. And, I work at Microsoft, and I'll say that it gets a little sleepy, a little quiet, a little time to take a little holiday. And I've been enjoying not watching or looking at Twitter at all in the last 2 weeks. And really not even trying to do anything at all, but I'm here making this video right before the new year because I wanted to sneak it in and talk about all my favorite things. There were a few other things that to me culminated as a really awesome year for developers. I thought that this was the year that we got back to conferences. I had the honor and the privilege of heading over into the Netherlands to speak at Techorama, which was just an absolute delight. I was over in Poland talking at .NET Developer Days. That was just absolutely delightful. VS Live, Dev Intersection, I spoke at as well this year. It's cool to see people have those, conversations. I went back into the office a few times. I mostly work at home full time. As a team that I have I work on at Microsoft as our developer community team. I had the honor of growing my team, which is really nice, doing all sorts of really cool, new, exciting things. My team is absolutely amazing. I love working with every single one of them every day. It's just so much fun interacting with everyone in the community, everyone here on YouTube, on the .NET YouTube, on Twitch, and all these different places. It's just so cool to see. So kind of getting back to normal, but also still doubling down on live streaming, right? I've been able to do a few live streams here. The .NET YouTube is just crushing it on the live streaming, the community stand-ups. It's great to see the team involved there, and all of y'all head over and chat with the team and as the products are updating constantly. One really cool thing that I got to work on with several team members and across everywhere is the .NET Podcast app. You saw it last year at .NET Conf and this year at .NET Conf, but it's really evolved. It's added Orleans inside of it. We have Playwright tests for the Blazor application. That's really cool, the automated UI framework. It has GitHub Actions. It has a staging environment. It has the latest .NET 7 features. Inside of it, it includes the .NET Community Toolkit. Just really so many cool things inside of there. All the new minimal APIs for ASP.NET Core. It has the containerization with the .NET SDK inside of it. It has all this telemetry that .NET developers can take advantage of. It has new authentication inside of it. It's been a really fun project to continue to build on and evolve over the last year and work with tons of people across different teams here at Microsoft. Another amazing individual, Myra, who runs and manages and owns the .NET website. It's been a fun year of watching the .NET website evolve too. There was the 20th anniversary, which got a full remake of the website. But also, if you go to the .NET website right now, .NET.microsoft.com or .NET, you'll see a whole new beautiful web page there. I have the privilege of giving some insight and working on little bits and pieces there, which is really fun with my team. I work with Myra all the time. And I think, this has sort of been the year of ARM 64. And it's been really fun to see all the different pieces sort of come together from the developer perspective, from the IDE to the hardware, to the runtime, and see the constant additions here. And of course, the biggest thing that I continue to just love is the amazing .NET community. It's a community that I've been part of for a long time through my years at Xamarin and now through my years at Microsoft, going on 7 years now. It's just really so cool to see what all of you are building, whether you're just getting started, watching your very first videos, learning a new way to build a website or a mobile app or a command line application or anything, right? With .NET, doing a little machine learning, IoT with really cool things out there like Nano Framework or Meadow. Just really neat to see all the things coming together in the world of .NET. Whether you're building a Mac app, a Windows app, an iOS app, an Android app, I love seeing the community come together. YouTube has been so much fun this year for me. To watch a lot of new creators come up. It's been fun going back and forth with Gerald, I would say, talking about .NET Maui. It's been fun watching Nick Chapsis over on his channel, Tim Corey, Layla just joined, Layla Porter just joined YouTube, coming over from Twitch and growing there. And there's many other creators. It's been fun to see this community grow and to see more .NET content coming on. I know I'm not covering every single thing and I'm not covering every creator. There's just so much on my mind to think about, but it's been a blast. This year alone, 24,000 new subscribers on the channel. Thank you all so much for being here, for tapping that subscribe and hitting that like button so many times on this channel. There's been over 1.7 million views, 75% more year over year on the channel. I'm blown. My mind is blown away. Nearly 200,000 hours of watch time, 100% increase year over year on the channel. And you know, I don't have like the biggest reach in the entire world on Twitter or Mastodon or all the places, but it's been fun to do this. I do it all in my spare time. I'm recording right now on my day off. That's often when I record on the weekends or really late at night. And I do all my editing on nights and weekends. I do this all here because I work with the entire amazing team to put out even more official videos on the .NET YouTube and enable the amazing team members over there. So even subscribe to the .NET YouTube or the Visual Studio YouTube or the new Azure Developers YouTube too. Put links to those below, but there's so much amazing content coming this year. But I do want to thank everybody for really just being part of this, journey, whether you're just a subscriber, you're watching this for the first time, this is your first like you've ever given on a video, you know, there's that. Or if you're a member, you've joined up and you get part of those AMAs and just get some cool emotes when I live stream. And, you know, I always want to know what all you think. What are your favorite things in 2022? What did I miss? There's tons of things that I missed. You know, I did. And those are the things, just going through the blogs and going through the videos of what I wanted to touch on. But you know, every single framework, every single library, every single language got so many really new features of productivity and just, you know, fun features for developers out there. Just, it's been so much fun to see that the community projects really, some are absolutely ginormous and huge and use at enterprise scale, right? Just see those continue to evolve and transform and be part of this. So I just want to thank everybody for watching videos here on YouTube or on any of the other creators' YouTube, on the .NET YouTube, for being part of this with me, for all the amazing comments, for the feedback. I'm excited for 2023. I'm not going to get into predictions of what's going on besides it's going to be .NET 8 because that's what happens, and what kind of content we're going to be putting out here. You know, got 24,000 new subscribers. Maybe we can hit 50, but can we reach 100,000 by the end of 2023? Fingers crossed. You know, I'm excited about it. I'm excited about all of you. And thank you again so much for tuning in, and hope you have an amazing new year. And we'll see y'all in 2023. Peace.